Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the John Peckman podcast. We're live here in the studio at Connecticut Valley School of Music and Dance. John is out on tour this week. I'm your host, Dave Kuzminski, filling in for him. And with us in the studio is an old friend of mine, go back a long time, Mr. Sandy Imperatrice, who is we go back. It's a different aspect of the industry. This is the sound guys, okay, that make all his bands sound good. And Sandy and I go back a long time, from TSS to now he's at event production services and so forth. So how you doing, Sandy?
Pretty good. How you doing, Dave? A long time.
Yes, it has. Well, we're upright. We're able to take nourishment, and we're still on the above side of the grass. So.
Yes, we are.
Anyway, so we go back a long time. Back to the Hebron Fair days, to the Marshall Tucker and the whole guys and all and so forth. So, tell me how you got into the industry.
Misguided childhood. Actually, we were hanging around in Hartford. Well, I lived in Hartford, in the north end of Hartford before. And we used to go to the bowling alley, and I ran into some kids at, it used to be the Meadow Lanes. It's a car lot now.
Yeah.
And I ran into a bunch of kids that were affiliated with the Wild Weeds.
Oh, okay.
So we started pushing gear then when we were like 13, 14.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Wow. Wild Weeds.
Yeah.
Now, because that was Matt Zeiner's dad, right? Was it? Who was?
Well, I think, Ray Zeiner.
Ray
was
Zeiner.
In it, but Al Anderson.
Yeah, Big Al. Yeah.
What else was? Oh God, it was so long ago.
Yeah.
Remember Ray?
Yeah, that's a long time, because
that's 1966.
Yeah. His son is out. He's out with the weight band now, I guess.
Yes. Matt's out with the weight.
Yeah, and so forth. So.
One of my guys actually mixes them. It's actually their guy. He works for me when they're not out on the road.
Oh, okay.
So.
All right. So, the Wild Weed, and then how did it go from there? I know then
school bands, I got involved with them, but I never played anything. I don't play anything.
Right.
And I just ended up, doing the management end and sound and lights. I actually did lights before I did sound.
Okay.
There was a band called The Elevations. I don't know. That was back then, too.
I've heard the name.
Yeah, and I can't remember their lighting guy's name, but we took it. Do you remember the little air organs?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
We would take that and put momentary switches under the keys and use Cinch Jones connectors in the back to hook up to the lights. And I got some old window boxes and lined them with aluminum foil and put 150-watt putt lights in them. We did have a spotlight.
There you go. A spotlight was in Portland. I could remember that. And in my first band, we had our trumpet player built light boxes with used the plexiglass shields from the fluorescent lights and put lights behind him, and they blinked, and it was the visual effect.
Yep. Then we would take sewing machine motors and get collets for them and make wheels, and that was your strobe light. We had one with one cutout in it for a white strobe light. Then we had one with two cutouts in it for red and blue.
Hey, there you go. That was improvising back in the day.
You did what you had to work.
So when you said what kind of gear, as far as back in the day, were you using for amplification back there? Basically, mixers, self-powered mixers. What?
Well, first I was custom. Blue, padded one, 4 channels.
The tuck and rolls.
All you had, tuck and rolls. You had 410s. Was it 410s in that one or 4.8s?
Yeah.
And a 4-channel head, and it was just vocal mics.
Yeah.
Then we graduated. Excuse me. Had a set of temple columns. Those were 412s.
Yeah.
I remember those. They were heavy.
Yeah. And then Shure came out with the one for they had.
Sure. Vocal Masters.
Yeah, the
back
Vocal
then.
Masters.
They were all out at the same time. Those were Trainers, which is now Yorkville.
Yeah.
And we had that, and I had a phase linear.
Okay.
Amplifier, and the first board I bought was that one. Yep.
Okay. Yeah. Well,
it'll come to me eventually.
You get, and of course back in the day, those were all analog boards. Okay.
Oh,
knob twisted.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure I had some Vocal Masters in there somewhere.
Yeah.
Then I graduated from that to a set of Voice of the Theaters.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
4560s without the horns, and throw some other stuff on top of it.
God, I still have a set of LTEC 1205Bs. which were the bi-amped ones with the big voices theater, but they were bi-amped and so forth. I used to use when I was playing in the Catskills. We used to haul those around with the wheels in the back. They were like moving refrigerators for Christ. They sounded great, but
they did. They weren't that heavy, but they're just big.
Yeah, they're
big
huge
and bulky. Yeah, it was a single 15. There was a band Mischief. I don't know if you remember them.
I remember the name, yeah.
Yeah, well, they're back. They put it back together. We've
Really?
done a couple of gigs just, doing
No
it.
kidding.
Well, everybody's retired now, so we got time.
Yeah, and now, the older guys, it's not like we made great money back then, but now they're kind of more in it for the fun of it now, as far as nobody's making any serious money out there now.
Not in the bar scene, not that size.
The live music scene, obviously, COVID kicked the butt out of everybody.
Yeah, it still is.
Yeah.
I mean, it's coming back. I think I was hoping this year would come way back, but it didn't. But it's better than it's been. Each year is better. I think next year, I'm already working on stuff for next year. Have been that they're trying to put up. So
good.
We'll see where all that goes.
Well, here at the music store, I mean, we were closed. March 20th. Of course, when the state got shut down, we were closed until the latter part of June. Just closed. And I mean, it's like
we were out for 18 months. We didn't do anything.
Yeah. And. It's a lucky thing. Like I say, I own the building, but
Well, I got everything's paid off, thank God, and I made it through. I got a PPP loan. Otherwise, I wouldn't be here right now. Well, the company wouldn't be here.
Right. So you get to a situation, you count your blessings that you're still among the standing. As far as a lot of music stores went out. As far as
a lot of everything went out. Now a lot of sound companies are coming back, and the younger kids are doing it.
Yeah. So you got involved, going back to the TSS days. Now you were with Doug Fay back then, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
I got into the Agora Ballroom through Tommy.
Yeah.
And I met. So I trying to get Tommy to go in partners with me on starting a sound company.
Okay.
But he was working for Serpent, and he was married to that. So
yeah.
He hooked me up with Doug, and off we went.
There you go.
Yeah.
Now, what was the vintage gear back then? EAWs or what?
We pretty much had EAWs. Even like when the stack system.
Yeah.
There was a company down in New Jersey. It was Joe Sound and Salami.
Okay.
But they made a set of double 18 front loaded back then that were really good. I still kind of wish I had some of them just to use for side fills and stuff.
Wow. Okay.
But we used those in MR102s and
yeah, those are
and 2350, the big aluminum throat JBL horns with they were 82s when you would use slots or bullets on top of them.
Yeah.
But then you came out the 41s, so you didn't really need the high-end Tweeties.
Right.
And, that was a stack system.
Yeah.
Just pile it up.
What were you powering it with? Crowns or?
Crowns.
Yeah.
Well, actually, in the beginning, we were BGWs.
Okay.
750s and the 250s.
Okay. All right.
All those. Those were really good amps, but they didn't stay up with the times, too. And then we went over to Crown, and now I probably own 90 Crowns.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Wow.
All Crown.
Yeah. Are you using Power Softs at all?
No. I'm a Crown guy.
You're a Crown guy.
Yeah.
Okay. Crown. You need a back brace for those guys.
Not anymore.
Not anymore.
The Power Softs are heavier.
Really?
Yep.
Oh, no kidding. Wow.
They're all HDs.
Yeah.
High definition. The iTech, I got 12,000s and 4x35s and 9s and 5s and God only knows what other numbers they have on them,
Yeah.
And I got a bunch of XTIs still, but I think we're going to move up a couple of things and sell those off.
Yeah.
Got to keep up with it now. I learned that part.
Now the stack system, now that, then it kind of evolved into line arrays, correct?
Well, it went into full range, into like the 850s, the AWKF 850s.
Yeah.
I still got 28 of those. We still use for the smaller fairs and stuff, they're fine.
Yeah.
In my opinion, if you're not flying the line array, I'd rather use 850s.
Yeah.
It's better point source. You get a better spread on them.
Yeah, I remember we used to do the Hebron Fair together out there. That used all the
Portland
850
too.
Yeah, Portland. Yes, yeah, that was way back there. Yeah,
I'm still doing Hebron.
Yeah, I know you are. Yeah. I know you are, and so forth. Yeah, ever since oh God, who used to run the entertainment? Millie and his they were never married, but he always ran the entertainment out there because I played out there. I guess they used to play.
What, Hebron?
Yeah, at Hebron Fair.
Don?
Well, Don, no, it was he used to own a construction company.
Okay.
Millie was his partner, wife. That they never married.
They never actually married.
Yeah,
They might as well have been one of
and
those.
so
Yeah.
forth, yeah. Tony was his name. I remember, but yeah, Don was. I think Don took over after Tony. After Tony passed.
Yeah.
But
Well, I got in Adam Micklett.
Yeah. Okay.
Adam, I got in when Adam was there.
Yeah.
His first or second year as entertainment, whatever they call it, superintendent. I think they call him.
Yeah.
Every fair has a different name.
Oh, tell me about it. Tell me about it.
But and I've been there for, God, at least 10, 12 years.
Yeah.
Be there again this
Well,
year.
there's, I think outside of Durham, they're the second largest fair in the state.
It's Durham, Woodstock, and them.
Is that right?
I don't know if it's in that order. I know Hebron's big.
Yeah. They got a pretty big war chest,
Yeah.
Out there. And they bring in some heavy entertainment, and so forth. So, but, yeah. So, who have you worked with as far as some of the guys that you've done sound for?
Oh, God. Like you said, Marshall Tucker.
Yeah.
I remember we're like
James Montgomery's still around.
James Montgomery. I've done him a million times.
Yeah.
too. But the one I was thinking of this on the way up here. Who am I going to talk about? Because I've done so many bands, I don't remember all of them.
Yeah.
But for like 3 years in a row, I was working for Northeast Concerts.
Okay.
We did Johnny Winters on my birthday for like 3 years in a row.
Oh,
It just
okay.
happened like
Wow.
Thursday, Friday, Saturday
Wow.
kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah,
We did him. God, Santana.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of the ones I loved working with.
Yeah.
Pat's passed away, but the Smithereens.
Yeah,
Smithereens are always a lot of fun to work with.
Yeah. I used to see Johnny Winters at the NAMM show every year and go out there, and he's always, hawking in some booth. He's doing,
Yeah.
But he's quite the guy.
Sure was.
You know.
B.B. King, we
Yeah.
toured with him for years.
Yeah.
Years.
Yeah. There's a lot of history there. My God, he's.
Yeah, I started going off there just thinking that he was a great man. He was a good man.
Yeah.
Good,
Yeah.
we weren't best friends or anything. Don't get me wrong, but he was a friend.
Yeah.
He was good. You could walk up and talk to him.
Yeah. Very personable. I remember years. I think we did. Remember we did Charlie Daniels out at Hebron. So forth.
I've done Charlie several thousand times too.
Yeah.
They're all gone.
Yeah. No, I can remember Charlie out. And he had his violin tech. And he had he had two violins, and he opened up the case of the violins. And the cover of the case of the violins, he had about 35 violin bows, and Charlie would shred about 4 or 5 bows in every concert.
Yeah.
It looked like hair coming out of the thing.
Yeah, you have to restring them.
Restring them, but he had, like I say, he had 35, 40 bows and so forth. But he went through at least 5 or 6 in a show. And it just ended up right.
I mean, back in the day too, when they were like Molly Hatchet.
Yeah.
We did them. The Outlaws. The Outlaws were a favorite. Too. We got the band with Huey and everything.
Yeah.
God, what else? Cyndi Lauper.
Daryl, Daryl Worley? We did Daryl Worley out there, and so forth. He was with the George Dickel sponsored him, I think. He
George Dickel,
on his bus.
Mm-hmm.
They come in.
Recently, we've done Joe Nichols. We did Tim McGraw down at the Food and Wine Festival in Greenwich.
Okay.
God.
Yeah.
We did Train down there. Goo Goo Dolls, done them several dozen times.
Yep. Now, when you get into tell me a little bit about the riders.
This is the way you draw up a writer. Ask for everything and take what you get.
Oh, okay.
That's why we were kidding back in the 80s when we were working at the Agora.
Yeah.
That's why they invented Sharpies. Cross off stuff.
Oh, okay.
Well, they ask for what they, the technical part of it, they ask for what they need.
Yeah.
And within reason, you give it to them. And now it's a lot of in-ear.
Yeah, everything.
In-ear monitors and stuff. They ask for them. Obviously, they bring their own earplugs. I wouldn't want somebody else's wax in my ears.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
but the units, and now with all the selling off frequencies and everything, wireless has become my second biggest nightmare.
Is that right? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well, everything is FCC.
Yeah. Well, we're going to go on digital now, but we'll see how long that lasts.
Well, I think
it's a digital signal, and it's not really digital because it's digital coded, and then it turns to analog to broadcast it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we'll see what happens with that.
Yeah. Well, now you also do sound of the Infinities, right?
I did for a while, yeah.
Yeah,
I did a year in there, but it got to be too much trying to do both of them.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I left there.
Now, the Infinity, they have their own house systems.
Yeah, they have their own system and everything in there.
And so forth. I remember.
Johnny, you know Johnny Larson?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's in there now.
Is he? Okay. All right. Because have you still, is Skip still around?
No, Skip passed away.
He
was one of the first ones.
My God.
He got dementia.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh, boy.
It was pretty bad at the end.
Oh, my God. Yeah, that's, wow. Now, you're still doing quite a bit for Lefty?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's not doing much anymore.
No,
he's not into it like he used to be. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, well, he's
got his backline company, and that's going really well for him.
Yeah,
He's got anything you ever need backline, go to Shabu.
Yeah.
He's got it.
But even play, the All Stars. I mean, you see him. He's slipped a lot. He's mostly sitting on stage now. When he plays and so forth.
Well, he's up there.
He's got to be almost late 70s. No.
No, he's not late 70s.
No.
I think he's 2 years older than me, and I'm not going to say.
Okay.
No, I believe he's either 71 or 72. I'm 69 now.
Well, I'm 73.
You don't look it either, so.
Well, it's.
People say I don't look it. I say, you want a shoulder?
Yeah, exactly. You want a back? I remember we're lifting those 750s and those 450s up, and 1, 2, 3 hurt.
Oh, yeah.
That was your saying.
Oh, yeah. That was Freddie started that.
Oh, really? Oh, my gosh. Load those things up and, pack the truck, and and you had to pack the truck the right way, otherwise it wouldn't fit.
Yep. You still, even with the liner, it's like that, but they're half the weight of an 850.
Yeah.
Less than half the weight.
Now, what liner is you? JBLs? Or?
Right now, I'm in JBL land.
Yeah.
4888s.
Okay. All right.
The mid-size ones.
Okay.
I was going to make a move just before all this stuff hit the fan with the plague and everything. I call it the plague.
Yeah.
It is.
Well, yeah.
And I didn't. Thank God.
Yeah.
So we're revisiting that now, but it didn't pick up enough this year for me to do that. And I don't know what to do, to be honest with you. I'd like to stay with JBL. It only makes the sense. I have it all, as far as switching amplifiers. But being a writer guy, D&B.
You know what I didn't do, Sandy? I didn't turn on this camera, so I'm going to turn it on. Okay, now we're back with cameras now. Huh? So we're going to have the first 18 minutes, Sandy, with a still picture of you and I. But
that's all right. The camera probably broke as soon as you turned it on anyway.
So yeah, I mean, going back, I mean, as far as the the line arrays and so forth. That's now are most venues now, from a standpoint of accommodating lights, do they have their own fly rigs, or you have to bring your own?
It depends on the places, like Infinity Halls, those type of places all have, like College Street, all that, they have their own PA. It's in there.
Yeah.
Webster's in there. It's just, they're in there. So you get what's been in there.
Okay.
You know what I mean? They've got, Infinity's got I forget their 12-inch, but they're D&B, but they're old. Okay. Older now. They're still perfectly fine.
Yeah.
They got to upgrade.
Okay. Now, what are most of the consoles now you're using now? I mean, most of them now are gone to digital.
They're all gone to digital.
Yeah.
Except for the Stones.
Well,
And Bon Jovi, I believe, still demands an analog desk and stuff. But right now, I'm Avid. I've got a pair of 48s and a profile.
Okay.
That was the other part of the upgrade that we were going to do. We were going to go with the Avid S6Ls.
Okay.
But like I said, we're holding off for a little bit longer yet.
Well, I mean, you remember the old Midas desk, or Christ, the old analog desk. That took a lot of real estate, man.
Oh, yeah.
It's just like, oh my God.
A lot of real estate, plus you needed 2 racks on top of it just for all the stuff, and it's all in this whole board now.
Yeah. Now you don't have any outboard effects. Everything's in the board.
Everybody loves it. The truck loves it. The accountant loves it because it's...
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, okay, the first SC48 I bought was $18,000.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It would have been 100 and something to get what's in that board
Yeah.
in analog.
Well, yeah, exactly. You know, and when you're looking at all of the effects now, I mean, I know in every rider, what's the Yamaha, the SX90, is that
Yeah, SPX.
SBX90?
That was on every rider.
That was on every rider.
Now they have plugins.
Yeah, yeah.
What they call plugins, and I believe in the CL5s, which is the Yamaha desk, the bigger desk. I may have a new one now, but that's in there, you know, and you can buy them.
Yeah, yeah.
Some of the plug-in packages you buy are $5,000, $6,000, $7,000.
Yeah,
and then somebody wants something else. So basically, it's come down to like the in-ears. You've got the in-ears, bring it.
Yeah, yeah,
Bring your own program when your license key.
Yeah, yeah.
So I've got all the stuff in the boards, but I don't have the license key. That's where they get you.
Oh, okay, all right, right. You know, so now what are most of the most popular in-ears? Sennheisers or Sures or what?
Sures,
yeah.
Sures.
Yeah.
I mean, so people use Sennheiser. I've had a couple of national acts go, Sennheiser makes in-ears.
Yeah.
You know, it's all Shure. Shure's got their frequency response, and well, I don't know if response if I'm doing that right, but it's very strong signal.
Yeah, yeah.
So you don't get much interference with those.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'm sure the Sennheiser guys would argue with me, but
well, you know, it's amazing. We've had, in fact, one of my teachers I used to teach here years ago, Michael Clear. He's the Northeast Sennheiser rep and so forth, and he's. Of course, he swears by Sennheiser. Of course, he's
better.
He better, you know, and so forth. But they've come out. You know, I mean, the industry and technology, like anything else, is moving. Like,
don't get me wrong. I mean, Sennheiser is good. I've got some wireless stuff of theirs. I don't have any in-ears because once again, it changes every 5 minutes. So.
Yeah.
But it's gotten down to the point with the wireless guys be the wireless guys.
Yeah.
Get it from them.
Well, and a lot of times, you know, when you're getting into the groups now and so forth, back in the old days, I mean, your stage volume was, you know, with the wedges, man. Now everybody wants lower stage volume, you know, as far as that goes. So, you know, I mean, half these guys are deaf because of the yeah, you know. But yeah, now you know, going back as far as I mean, used to do most New England used to do, how far down?
The whole Northeast.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, BB used to take us everywhere.
Yeah.
I remember one day I put Jay Bird.
Yes.
Jay Bird and Fred in a truck and sent him out to Seattle, picked him up, went up through Canada, Saskatchewan, and all that, and down the West Coast and came home.
Is that
Didn't do anything Midwest or East.
Right.
You know, we do stuff like that.
Now, what was most of his 1-2 night stunts or just one night stuff? And with
BB?
Yeah, with BB.
No, that was tour. They were out for a month.
But, you know,
he do
2-night shows.
He do 3, 4, 5. He do like 6 nights a week, 5, 6 nights a week.
In the same place or
no,
you're picking
every day different. Send one-offs.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying.
All one-offs.
You know, unload it, set it up. You know, break it down, load it.
The only thing we bitched about BB was we'd get there and load in. We're at the loading dock. The bus would pull up in front of the truck.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't move until you got on the truck, and he wouldn't leave the venue until he signed every patron's autograph. If they wanted an autograph, he would stay there, and we'd be waiting for him to get out of the venue for an hour.
So you guys can get on the road.
So because we couldn't. They wouldn't move the bus until he was on the bus.
Okay, well, you know, and that's the true gentleman, you know. As far as that goes,
you can't really argue with it. I mean,
he took care of his fans and he appreciated.
He took care of us too. We ate good on those tours.
Yes. Well, typically now, how big a band did he have?
They had 2 drummers.
2 drummers?
Keyboards.
Okay.
Did he have 2 keyboards? No, I think he had 1 keyboard, horn section.
Okay.
So, you know, I think it was 9 guys.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure it was 9.
Yeah. That's a big group. How many mixes normally for them?
12 rings a bell for some reason.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, 9 is 9.
Yeah.
And side fills, 10, 11.
Yeah.
So 11.
Yeah, okay.
Back then. Nobody uses side fills anymore, by the way.
Well,
hardly.
There again, it's going back to keeping the stage volume down.
Yeah.
You know, you get to a point
where
you
get into metal stuff, then they want side fills.
Well, we have one of my first drum teacher here was Matt Franklin, who is now is Matt Starr. He's out with Ace Frehley and Mr. Big, and in fact he filled in for Kicks, and as far he was out with them for a while, and then he also did he filled in with for Mr. Big with the drummer that passed away. Anyway, Matt filled in for him, and then he's been out with Ace as far as that goes. So, and they've been doing the things. And he used to be out on the West Coast. He moved back to the East Coast, and now I think he's living in Old Sabre, but I think he's going to be going back out west, so forth, out in L.A. way, go from there. But yeah, he's been doing it a long time, but he's been out there a while, but good guy. But originally, his family he grew up in Rocky Hill, so anyway, but yeah, go from there. So now, as far as what venues do you like to work? I mean, that stick out are good venues to work in.
Well, we've been outside mostly nowadays, I mean, Infinity Hall was good to work in. It's a good sounding room. Everybody's nice there. It's a good deal. But outside fairs, most of those,
Have you done the Bluefish Stadium down there in Bridgeport there, whatever?
Bluefin, yes.
Yeah. Okay.
I did a couple down there.
Yeah.
But not what they turned that into the amphitheater now.
Yeah.
Hartford Health, not Hartford.
I think it is Hartford Healthcare.
No, that's Dillon Stadium, Hartford Healthcare, I think.
Okay. Well, now there's the Westfield Music Bowl. That's
the old tennis.
Yes, that's right across from the Yale Bowl.
He's got his own system.
Does he? Yeah. Okay.
I haven't been in there yet. That's all new too. I mean, that started right around the time of the plague.
Yeah. No, I caught Derek Trucks down there, and I caught what the hell else I catch out there? But anyway, it's a great venue. It's not a bad seat in the house,
Yeah,
and
that's what I hear. Yeah,
and the sound is pretty good.
Yeah, that's all. They bought a D&B rig. It's all D&B.
Is that right?
Yep.
Okay.
That's the number one on the rider nowadays. That's why I'm leaning there. At first, I was leaning towards just upgrading because the new JBL is going after the D&B. So if anybody can do it, JBL can. But
the
A12s are, but you don't know if they're catching on or not because everything went and stopped for so long.
Yeah. Well, and again, that's the pandemic. You get to a situation, and as the world stops, the technology keeps moving. Everybody's coming out with stuff. I know I went to the NAMM show. Well, they canceled the NAMM show in 20,
right?
And then they moved the January show in 2021. They moved it to July, and I went in July, and it was dismal. I mean, normally if you go to the NAMM show, they've got 5 halls. I think they only use 3. I mean, you had.
Wow. A lot of people backed off on everything.
Well, a lot of manufacturers. I mean, Gibson didn't show up. Roland didn't show up. Fender.
Really?
Yeah. Wow. And the aisles, for cripe's sake, all of a sudden that were 10 feet wide. Now we're
20.
We're 40 feet
40,
wide.
yeah.
And they only use 3 halls. Then the next year, they wanted to try moving it back to try to get back to January. So then they went to April. And so this past year it was April, and I didn't go because of the July show, and it was better. They had, typically the NAMM show, out in Anaheim, the attendance pre-COVID was about 110, 115,000. In April last year, they only had 42,000.
Wow. Yeah.
But it's starting to come back, and now this coming January, they're
going back.
They're going back to January because they used to do the winter show in January, and they used to do the summer show. Historically, was in Nashville, and so forth. And I don't know if they're going to be going back to Nashville because when I first started going to the NAMM show, it was Anaheim, and then they did Chicago with McCormick Place out there, and
McCormick Plaza.
Yeah, and so forth. But now it's pretty much Nashville in the summer that it's been for the last 5 years, pre-COVID, and then of course Anaheim's the big show. As far as. But it's
all changed.
It has.
Hopefully it'll come back, like we were saying. Everybody's hoping.
I think so. It's like I say, the live music scene is it took a hit, and You know,
Yep.
and of course, the money's not there. Like I made more money playing back in the '80s than
Yeah, yeah.
you know how that is.
Yep.
Oh,
I know.
and it's unfortunate, but you get a lot of ham and eggers out there. I mean, you go to a club, and we have a club in Portland here, the Western Bar out at the Winchester Cafe, and whether you bring 3 pieces or 10 pieces, that they'll only pay $300.
Yeah, I know.
I mean,
That's nothing.
it's
Like you said, we made more money back then.
yeah, and for me, that's with our it's not even worth loading a truck.
No.
You know?
Although they made this stuff you can just put in a briefcase now.
Yeah. Well, that's
so
true
to
too,
speak.
Now, do you get into any rentals at all? As far as renting small systems on a stick or anything?
If I know someone, I would. Oh, you mean I'd put out a system on a stick.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I do that. Matter of fact, we're doing our, I keep saying Hartford, it's Connecticut Historical Society.
Okay.
First Thursday.
Yeah.
But they didn't do it yesterday because of the 4th of July. They're doing it next Thursday.
Okay.
And it's speakers on a stick with 4 powered wedges.
Okay.
Small little, I got a little
Power
sound.
mixer.
No, I got a little Soundcraft.
Oh.
The speakers are all powered now.
Oh yeah. Oh, okay.
That's the way they went with that.
Okay. Now, what are you using for power speak? USCs or?
Well, mine are Yorkvilles.
Or Yorkvilles.
I actually got them from Skippy after he passed away. I bought them from him.
Okay.
I bought a bunch of Yorkville stuff. These are the only ones I kept. I'm amazed at how well they work.
Oh, okay. Good.
The other, I had a 15 with a Danley horn in it with 3 5s around the outside of it, but it couldn't. They sounded good until you started leaning on them, and then they just puked.
Yeah. Well,
so I got rid of those.
Yeah. Well, when you start pushing them and so forth, they talk back at you. They don't like it.
Nope.
They go from there. So anyway, what, growing up, what concerts do you remember going to that
God,
you remember kind of?
The Who, Jethro Tull, and It's a Beautiful Day at Tanglewood.
Okay.
Santana at Tanglewood.
Okay.
God. Then what is the Hippodrome now? I believe it was a Paramount Theater up in Springfield. MC5, if that rings a bell to anybody.
Oh yeah, MC5. Yeah. Wow, that's the
Jay Giles before anybody knew.
Right. Yeah.
Remember Fat? They used to play there all the time. They're doing their 55th anniversary year or something this year.
Well,
Guy DeVito.
Okay. Yes. Yeah.
He was Fat.
Yeah. Okay. I remember him. Fat doesn't ring a bell. Okay.
Because
we had one of my students actually was a film major and so forth, and he did a couple feature films. They're out on Netflix and so forth. But one of the films that he did is he interviewed Danny Fields, who was he discovered he was the Doors manager. He discovered the Stooges. He discovered and so forth. But Danny was in, I guess it's the punk era.
That's all those bands are punk that you just said.
Yeah. But
I knew the name sounded familiar.
Yeah, and Danny was in. He got really friendly with him. He lives in a he's probably about mid-70s now. But the name of the film is Danny Says. And he would go back through and recount. I mean, he had memorabilia. I mean, he did interviewed Joni Mitchell. He interviewed what's his name? The guitar, one of the guitar players for the Doors. I mean, he did all of these things, and he had He used to have ticket stubs of all of these concerts, and he was also the A&R guy for. Well, he was the editor of Billboard magazine there for a while, and so forth. But he also produced a film called I Need That Record. Brendan Toller's his name, but he basically that was the first one he did, and him and his a friend of his high school guy, they toured. They went across the country interviewing, the demise of the record store. And it was amazing, And he started right in Middletown. Okay, Merle's Record Rack, for Christ's sake, in Middletown, and when it went across, and how people, they started, record stores just started going away, and everybody was going digital. Now vinyl is outselling CDs now.
Well, yeah, but nobody was buying either one. They're all doing the
Digital.
yeah.
Yeah, downloads. As far as that,
Yep.
but
Vinyl should come back.
oh yeah, I mean the sound on vinyl is
can't-
definitely
you can't beat it.
you get something digital, all of the stuff on the high, the low side and the high side is not there. When you put it on vinyl, it's all, you get the whole spectrum there.
Well, I know.
You know.
The same thing with analog versus digital. The analog boards still sound better, but like you said, they're huge. And they weigh a ton.
Mm-hmm.
They're expensive, and you need, we used to figure $1,000 a rack
Yeah.
space
Yeah.
for the outboard stuff.
Yeah.
And there were 16 space racks full.
Because you had, I think you had Soundcraft.
I've soundtracks.
Soundtracks.
So those, yeah,
Okay.
those were great boards, but they didn't have their business together.
Okay.
And so if anybody knows the soundtracks, if you look on the original Digico boards,
Okay.
are soundtracks on the back of them. They bought them. That's where they got all their digital stuff.
Okay.
So that's where all the SD stuff came from. It evolved from the soundtracks. They were amazing boards, but they just didn't catch on.
No kidding. Wow.
Everybody that ever mixed on my SPA loved it.
Yeah.
It was a 40 channel. It was huge. You need a steam chair to get from one end to the other on it, but
Yeah.
it was good.
Yeah.
It was a good board. Still have it. Couldn't give it. You can't give that stuff away anymore.
Well, it's
It's done.
it's like a typewriter.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much.
Everybody's word processing on a computer and go from there. And like I say, the real estate, digital boards,
Yeah, it's easy.
everything is there, everything on board.
2 guys can pick them up. You needed 8 guys to move that thing.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know?
And that's not counting the road case that it goes in.
Yeah.
It's just like, it's, holy Christ, you need a forklift.
Well, they came up with the easy tilt, and that was the best thing since sliced bread.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But now like even the SC48s, you gotta, when you put it up on the easy tilt, you gotta drag it forward.
Oh, okay.
Because the center, they can't get an easy tilt made for the center of gravity on those boards for some reason.
Oh, really?
You can't. Yeah. So all you got is the bigger ones.
Okay.
Which will come back in now with the S6L. So
Yeah. Wow. As far as when you get into miking, how did you learn about the miking? And drum sets, and what are you using for drum mics now?
You want me to start in the beginning or what we're doing right now?
No. How was it evolved?
Well, back in the day, I got back into this with Tommy Morris.
The
Serpent Sound. And we went through, he showed me a lot, Brad Snow showed him a lot.
Oh, Brad Snow, yes, okay.
So it trickled down from him.
Yeah, didn't Brad go with B&H?
Yes,
that's
B&H bought Snow Sound.
Snow Sound, right.
Yeah.
Okay, right.
And Brad's retired now.
Is he?
Yes.
Okay.
I see him come out every once in a while. I hear that they paid him to come out, but he's not doing it day to day anymore.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's where he did that, and we were using like Sennheiser 421s, which are big microphones, especially nowadays, because we're using.
Were those the footballs?
No, that's D112s.
Oh,
those
okay.
are the kick drum mics. These are about that long.
Oh, okay.
They were originally made for studio mics.
Okay.
Vocal mics and, and broadcast. And we use those, and then we just evolved from there.
Well, the 58s are pretty much a standard. I mean, those
57s and 58s.
You can bang nails.
I got
with
50
things.
of each of them at least.
Yeah.
But the Sennheiser, the 904s, if I got the numbers right.
Yeah.
Are small, little, and they're lovely.
Right in
they
front of the mic.
On.
Yeah.
They
Okay.
clip on the drum, and I use those. Snare drum everywhere. Except the kick, you put.
Now the guitar mics are those the E104s?
No, the E609s and 906s.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
those. I've got a load of those too.
Yeah.
Those are great guitar mics.
Yeah.
And like I said, 57s and 58s galore. SM81s for overheads and hi-hats and, violins or any of that kind of stuff.
Right.
What else do we have?
Well, I remember we used to do James Montgomery back in the day, and he says, "What do you need for my? Just give me a ratty old 57." He says.
Oh yeah, for the heart mic.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's all he needed.
Yeah, that's all he does.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Still.
So those miking goes. Are you finding most drummers now are bringing out their own board that they can mix themselves in the back, or
sometimes not a lot.
No, okay,
not a lot, because You got a 48 on the deck, and they just mix it in for them.
Okay.
You know, they get their own mix off the monitor board, and whatever they want, they put in there.
Oh, okay.
You know, keyboard will do a little mixer once in a while just for his amp, so he mixes his stuff into his amp, and we DI everything from there.
From the amp to the board. Okay.
So he has his own mix in his monitor. A lot of keyboard players will do that.
Okay. Fun.
Yeah.
It's now, as far as female vocalists go, do you find those to be, or well, stereotypical? Sometimes they can be difficult.
Not really.
No.
No.
Oh, okay.
No, they were for a while, but now they just, you know. Well, it comes from us doing it forever, too. We've got the right stuff there for them.
Yeah.
So, you know, and make it sound the way they want it to sound.
Yeah, well, you know the old saying, don't piss off the sound guy.
Very much.
Yeah.
God.
So concert-wise, you know, I mean, a lot of those concerts that you remember as a kid and growing up with, have you been to any of the shows now as part of the public that you thought were really good?
The last show I went to as part of the public was Trans-Siberian Orchestra about 2 years ago. Yeah.
Okay.
And I took my new bookkeeper with her. She really wanted to see him, and we got in. And of course, I'm looking up, and there was a light out. She's like,
"Of course, you're looking at
that's
that.
what we do." You know?
Well, that's what we do. Oh,
but
yeah.
I'll tell you what, that's an amazing show.
Yeah.
That is an amazing show.
Well, they do. They do. Christ, they have to do 50 dates a year.
At least.
You know.
Well, there's 2 units.
Is there? Okay.
Yeah, there's
okay.
an East Coast and a West Coast unit.
Okay.
There may be a third one now.
Okay.
I don't know.
Wow.
They probably do more than 50 combined. Definitely.
Right.
More, probably 150 easily.
Wow.
But they're all holiday time kind of shows.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I know they tried to do something else. I forget what it was, like a Beethoven takeoff thing.
Okay.
But I don't know if that went anywhere.
You know, I mean that must be a bear to mix something like that with them.
Yeah, let's put it this way: you got to pay attention because it's a lot of movement on there.
Yeah.
You know, both violins and
depending on solos,
and who's doing what. They come out of the woodwork.
Yeah.
So I'm sure they do a lot of pre-production rehearsals.
Yeah. Now, typically, if somebody that would mix that, would you have 2 guys on a board for that? No. Okay.
Not with the new stuff, especially. I believe they use an SD7, which is the biggest of the Digico boards, and they have stuff in there, and the Avids have it where you can program the whole show and then just push a button.
Yeah.
The thing goes and it does it all itself.
Moves the sliders and everything.
Knows when it's going on and off.
And a lot of the lighting gear, same way. You can preset and load a show in. Well, and that's the thing. You know, with the digital stuff, you know, you can mix 4 bands, you know, and do sound checks, and then
just recall it. Yeah.
Just recall it in, and their set's already there. You don't have to do a sound check every time. You know, as far as that's the sweet part. You know, getting into that. So
it definitely has its advantages. You know, it's like I say. You know, if you're flying line array, it's great. If not, put 850s on the ground. That's my opinion.
Yeah. Well, those the 850s, they'll move a little bit of air.
Oh yes, they will.
Now, what typically, how many dBs? I've seen a couple of writers. They want 130 dB at the sound desk. Is that normal or
no? It's usually 110 tops. Yeah.
Okay.
Although we did Slaughter and Vixen and Autograph last year.
Yeah.
And I did 8 aside, and 22,000 people showed up. And between me, Rick, their house engineer, and my head engineer, Chris, everybody heard everything, even all the way in the back. How we did it without blowing anything up, I don't know.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was.
Now, do you run delays when you're running?
If we'd known that many people were coming, we probably would have put a tower in.
Yeah.
But we never expected that many people.
Wow.
So we did what we had to do. We
Yeah.
did the best we could, and everybody was very happy with it.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
The delay parts are, that can get tricky there a little bit.
We got really used to delay towers. I did 11 delay towers in Boston for the 4th of July up there for 22 years.
Okay.
Until they cut that all out.
Yeah.
But yeah. Me and Freddie used to do it when I was to be hitting the microphone like
Yep.
this
Yep.
and then down there. And then we graduated to a polarity checker.
Yeah, yeah,
And let that click away and did it. you
yeah,
know.
yeah, yeah,
But once we got the digital board, we loaded it in and we marked a street.
yeah, yeah.
And next year we just put the towers in the same place and turned it on.
There you go. You're all
Digital good.
plug and play, plug and play. So anyway, great, Sandy. Okay, some of the questions that John always does, these are kind of, what do you do for hobbies outside of work?
I don't know.
Do you go kayaking? Do you canoe? Do you go hiking? Nothing.
No, I walk. I
Yeah,
mean,
okay.
But that's because I found everybody in our group that started doing this has diabetes now.
Oh,
because, coming in at 4 a.m. and have a steak dinner and go to bed, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And drinking 20 gallons of Coca-Cola, the original power drink.
Yeah, exactly.
You know.
And then of course, eating all that fair food and grease and so.
I had to give that up. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, it gets crazy. So, okay, so if you got stuck on it, and now we go to the desert island questions. Okay, if you got stuck on a desert island, what would be your desert island albums that you would bring with you?
Bunch of Santana, bunch of Rolling Stones, Smithereens.
Okay.
I don't know, Bowie.
Okay. Nice.
I don't know.
Okay. All right.
I would come up with it. I know. I built a man cave down in my basement finally.
Yeah, yeah.
And of course, everybody said, take your CD, take your CD. I could fill this room.
See.
I was amazed at how many that I still have because we don't use them anymore. So it's out of sight, out of mind. I'm not digging through them every day.
Well, I mean, you go out on a show, depending on the venue of the show. You always
exactly.
you wanted to put on
yeah.
music between breaks or whatever, or film music or whatever.
Oh my God!
you had the Molly Hatchet, you had Judas Priest, you had
Judas Priest. Yep.
As far as that goes. Okay, so if you're stuck on an island, okay, what would be your desert island food that you could eat every day?
Hamburgers. Hamburgers or steak.
There you go. It's
meat.
Yeah.
I mean, I love fish too, so we catch some lobsters, whatever.
Yeah. Fantastic. So anyway, what's on the horizon now for you? How long are you going to do this?
Oh God, I don't know.
Okay.
Until I can't.
Until you can't.
Yeah. I mean, what else am I going to do?
Yeah.
At this stage of the game,
Yeah, exactly. You get to a point where it's.
You think about selling it seriously every once in a while, especially like during the pandemic and stuff. But
yeah.
then you couldn't sell it anyway.
Well,
and now here we are, and it's all this and all that, and then you get it. You go for about a week going, I'm going to get rid of it all. To hell with it.
Yeah.
Really retire, and then you're like, nah.
Who do you use for now for electronics and amp repairs and all that kind of stuff?
Do you remember band Destiny? That's another one back in the 70s. Their sound guy is Mike O'Brien.
Okay.
Me and him have been friends since Press 73, we think.
Okay.
Same time around Freddie when I met Freddie.
Okay.
And he's an electronics guy. He does all our in-house.
Okay.
Do everything in-house.
Because I remember, obviously Lefty always used to bring all this stuff up to East Hartford there. And
Doug. Norman? Doug.
No, Larry.
Larry, yeah.
Sveta. Okay. He used to be over where Gallery was, I think.
Yeah, he was in that building, yes.
In that building.
I was trying to think of that.
Yeah,
Gallery,
yeah. And Larry, he used to do all my repairs here at the store.
Yeah.
And he always used to do the Lefties all this stuff. I mean, you go up there and you see all the Shabu road cases and the thing, fixing that and fixing this and so. And Larry was good. He wasn't quick though, but it's like anything else,
Yeah, I remember Freddie talking about him. Yeah, but
yeah.
We got all our stuff in house.
Yeah, well, that's good.
Well, Michael's got all his stuff at my shop in house.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go. Well, you got to have it. The thing is
he doesn't want. I talked about opening a repair shop. He doesn't want to do that.
Okay.
He'll fix anything for me, but after that, it's like no.
Yeah. Now, do you do a lot of reconing speakers at all, or
I send them out?
Do you?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't want to do that.
Yeah. No, that's the thing.
And now with the new JBL, the neodymium stuff.
Yeah.
It's $5 more to buy a new one than to have it recone. So
right.
Just buy a new one.
Yeah.
it's there in 2 days.
Yeah.
You know,
Well, some of those cones, for Christ's sake, are expensive.
it's not cheap anymore.
No.
Nothing's cheap anymore.
No.
The glue for the new JBL stuff is almost $100 a gallon.
Is that right?
Yeah, that's why. Yeah, those guys down there, they used to do all the JBL stuff then in Connecticut, and he doesn't do it anymore.
Right. Oh, it's like anything else. It's you know, it's the way they make stuff. It's like it's not disposable, but it's life expectancy is okay. When it wears out, you replace it.
Yep.
Done.
I mean, like this, the RCF stuff and everything. Steve Davis, who was the guy at EAW, still has a shop up in the EAW building up there.
Yeah.
And from what I hear, they're bringing everything back.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I'd like to see that. Believe me.
Well, it's they a lot of the guys, they reopened the Ovation Factory up in New Hartford.
Yep.
As far as that, and that was a staple for years up there. My God.
Yeah.
I mean, got the old the graphite back, the
round backs,
backs and so forth. My God. Yeah.
My roommate's got one still. Steve,
yeah. No, he was. Glenn Campbell made those famous.
Yep.
As far as that goes, sure do. So, anyway, so obviously we're going to keep going. In fact, you and I are.
We could sit here for days.
Yes, for sure. So anyway, Sandy, I appreciate you coming down and
it's a pleasure
talking about the industry. And like I say, there's a lot of history between us going back a long time. As far as the people that we've played with, the sound that we've done together, and it's just a lot of good memories. The people too. I think. That you'd be surprised. The musical community. It's a small community, and everybody knows everybody.
It's a small community spread all over the world.
Yeah.
It really is. Like we was talking to Dave Mason.
Yeah,
I've done him a bunch of times.
Okay.
Where his engineer Chris Curtis is a good friend of mine now. A good friend being we keep in touch.
Yeah.
Everything. And he was out with Mark Farner, too, for a little bit.
Okay, yeah.
So we did a bunch of those.
Yeah.
If I keep going, I'll keep thinking of the bands we did. There's just such a glom of them. That it's so hard.
In Connecticut, realistically, is a very rich musical community. There's a lot happening in Connecticut that, we did... Joe Bouchard, who's the Blue Oyster Cult.
Yeah.
We interviewed him, and
oh, did you?
Yeah, he came down, and
I became friends with Joe. That was when I did monitors for those guys back for like 6 or 10 shows.
But he came back, and of course he relitigated the SNL cowbell, more cowbell skit, and how that all
cowbell,
how that
That's
came
so
about.
funny. Yeah, he's a good guy, man.
Yeah,
I ran into him. We were doing a bunch of stuff for UConn at Rensselaer when they first started, and they were having a band before the football games.
Yeah.
And I ran, and we looked at each other. What are you doing here? What are you doing here?
And he's out again, I guess.
Oh, he hasn't stopped.
Yeah,
he was in Treehouse or something. There was a band, him with Bob Sparks.
Okay.
They were doing that for a while, but I don't think they're doing that anymore. But I see his name pop up here.
Yeah, he's on Facebook. He's out. I see him. I'm friends with him. He's out again. They put a band together, and but that's classic. I mean, there's and he lives in Connecticut, so it's and a lot of these guys do.
You'd be so amazed at the people that are living. I'm amazed every day I find out somebody else lives here. That
yeah, for sure. So anyway. All right, Sandy Imperatrice was here, ladies and gentlemen, in the house, and I'm gonna hit the button here. And Sandy, again, thank you for coming down and sharing your stories and reminiscing a little bit. So here we go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that concludes this episode of the John Peckman Podcast. I'm your host, filling in for John, Dave Kuzminski, and. If you want to be on the show, hit us up. We'll be happy to have you. We're right here on Main Street, Connecticut Valley School of Music. Come on over the bridge and look left. So, as John always says at the end of the podcast, that is all. If you'd like to start your own podcast, give us a call at Connecticut Valley School of Music and Dance. Our professionally designed podcast space is here for all your recording needs. Rent out our studio to do interviews with up to 4 people, to record audiobooks, social media content, and all other recorded material. Our rentals include a private studio along with our professional-grade podcasting equipment, and we can customize your output to whatever your needs are. We also have green screen capabilities, which will expand to video capability if you so wish. So check us out here at convalley.net/podcast.